Hello everybody, Sarah Godfrey here again, Printmaking for You. Just been looking at my last print that I made of my lino. My plan today is to keep cutting and printing the lino, seeing how the marks and the image develop and see what I learn as I go. I'm aiming to use as many different tools to make as many different marks as possible in my lino, cutting away areas to get a bit more definition in the plate. Some nice broad marks and some finer chips and scrapes as well. I'm also going to be experimenting with using wet and dry paper, block printing and intaglio printing techniques to see the variety of marks I can gain and the difference in types of marks I can gain from the one plate. Last time, after I printed the plate, I purposely left the ink to dry on the surface of the lino so it would make it easier when I was cutting to see the marks that I was making. So here's the first print I've made. I've printed this with rolling the ink all over the surface evenly and using dry paper. So you can see it's more like a traditional lino print. So here we go again, cutting more marks out of the plate. This is the print I've made. I used wet paper and I inked up the plate like an intaglio plate, rubbing the ink into the marks. So as you can see, all the fine marks and scratches have printed. Time to start cutting again. Now I'm going to make another print. Sometimes only when you ink the plate do you actually see what's being rolled, so you can actually have a bit of an idea more of what's going to be printed. I think I will rub a little bit of ink off the tree. With my polish with my tissue. Now, when you first rub the tissue on, you can see it sticks, and then very soon, once you've got that top layer of stickiness off, your tissue starts to move. Here, I can feel it sticking again. Can you see? That's sticking. Whereas when you get a little bit more off, you can feel it starting to move on the surface, the tissue, and that is when you're polishing very, very gently the top excess layer of ink off, and you're leaving very gently the ink in the marks, in the scratches. I've just made this print and unfortunately I got a double take. My own fault. I put it through on the press first time one way and the pressure wasn't enough. So I thought I'll risk it, put it through the other way. When you push the paper one way and then you push the paper the other way, it almost stretches one way and then stretches the other way. So you get like this fuzzy double take. But I carried on because at least I could see, standing further back, how the composition is progressing. As you can see, I'm cutting some of the background marks completely away. So in theory, these areas should be white. I think I might try this print on completely dry paper. See how that works with not rubbing anything off the surface. So here is the print, much more of a traditional lino print with a black and white contrast. Although the image is reading now much more like a tree, I still do prefer the previous prints I've done with lots of more variety of marks all over the image. I am enjoying this process of keeping cutting and printing and learning about the marks I'm discovering on the way and how they print depending on whether the paper's wet and dry. Also depending on how I wipe the plate, whether I just roller the ink all over or wipe it off the surface. Now, can you remember this is my last print on dry paper, block printed. This is the next print. See the difference when it was rubbed, ink was rubbed all over the surface and polished off. And when I was doing that, I made a, if you can see here in these bits, there's no ink. I had the tissue and I rubbed very gently the tissue all over, so it's picked up these very fine marks of where the liner was cut. I'm really starting to like these marks now. And these especially, the textures are building up. I did wet the paper and had quite a bit of pressure on there. You can still see these scratches, the original scratches that were made ages ago in the woods. Well, I must admit I really have enjoyed doing the print like this and printing all these marks in the background as well. So I'm going to work on those now so we can get more texture into the background. I'm really frightened. I've got this new tool. It's quite expensive. And I'm a little bit frightened of snapping it because I do generally be quite rough with my tools. But if I'm not rough with my tools, I don't get the kind of marks that I enjoy. So it's a bit of a balance. Tentative aggression. Maybe that's what it's called. The idea of making this print really was only ever a journey of kind of discovery and learning about the process and learning about the marks that can be made so I can take them on in the future when I'm producing other works and I know what type of marks I have to make in order to achieve certain type of print. My last print of the day. It feels as though it's like almost coming full circle now. We've gone away from the marks and now they're being introduced again. It's as if more cuts are making more marks again, as though it's coming back for its like second life, its rebirth. I'm aware that this video is becoming longer than I ever imagined it to be, and the cutting is revealing more marks than I ever imagined either. So I'm feeling I'm going to stop here and then do another video continuing this cutting and printing and cutting and printing to see where it takes us and see if it can take us even further into discovering marks. If you're enjoying this journey with me, please subscribe below. Thank you very much. See you again. Bye.